Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us on our second edition this week of Storm Team 5 Plus. I'm meteorologist Ryan Kudish, joined by.
Meteorologist Nathan Himsel.
Yeah, I surprised you by making you say your name on this one this time.
I
Gotta refresh
know.
people's memories. Just, I know you might think that's Ryan Kudish and this is Nathan Hemsel, but that's totally okay. We get that a lot nowadays.
Glasses squared.
Yeah, glasses squared. So, how you doing today? How was you went out early this morning to learn how to use a camera, huh?
Yeah, it's nice out so far.
Yeah.
Temperatures are like right around the 70s. They had a nice program set up where you drop off a pot or you could pick up a flower pot. So we went and did a little bit on that exchange program. I think it's gonna be in a little bit later tonight. They'll talk about that.
Yeah, it should be in 6 o'clock news. But
Yeah.
we got a lot going on today here in Northeast Wisconsin. We have two big events. I know one of them is one of your favorites. It involves one of your favorite teams.
Right.
And then one of them involves one of my favorite things. So
Yes.
right now we're looking live into the Stadium District. We are So it's 10 o'clock. Practice gets underway at 10:30. It looks like there's a little bit of rain actually moving through. You can see some light rain on the camera there. It's okay. It's light rain. The Packers have played through worse.
Right. I mean, it's we gotta keep in mind that it's warm. It's 75 degrees.
Yeah.
When January rolls around,
We would love this.
Yeah, they're gonna prefer that they had that light
Yep.
rain around.
But Packers training camp has arrived. I mean, start of another season.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts so far in the season? Are you excited about the Packers season?
I'm so excited. So I'm a Packers fan.
Yeah.
But I lived in New York, so I'm so excited to come here and actually be in Green Bay for the upcoming season.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be one of the best seasons of my life, I'm sure.
What is your record prediction this year? What are you going with? I know I put you on the spot on that one.
Ooh,
I'm not going to say anything because I could certainly get myself in trouble.
I am going to say, I don't know for a record.
Maybe we'll hold off to the end of the show, and
because
then
I
we'll.
mapped it out a couple weeks ago.
So
but
in
I'm
between
not
our breaks, I'll
remembering.
have you.
I'm gonna look it up. But we're gonna take a couple losses, but I think it's gonna be a better season than last.
What the?
We are getting an emergency alert.
Oh well. I think everyone else got that.
Okay.
So let's
Yep.
move on to the show.
Yes.
Welcome to
Packers
live
are gonna have a
programming.
great season. Ignore the alerts. We can also hear
No, don't
outside
ignore the alerts.
Well, don't ignore
but-
the alerts. But ignore the beeping. Pay attention to yours.
Yeah, pay attention to
Yeah.
our newscast or little weathercast here.
Yes.
But anyway, let's get into what we're seeing right now. We're just doing another regional weather update because there's not much happening nationwide. So we're the center of the weather, I guess you could call it. Temperatures right now are lower to middle 70s for much of us, even some upper 70s to around 80 up there in the Northwoods. 80 right now in Shawano. Not much cooler lakeside. You'll see 73 in Manitowoc and 68 at the pier in Kewanee. Something for you, Nathan. Once you've been telling us a lot that the pier sticks out, so it's not the actual temperature in Kewanee. Yeah. It's more probably 75 in Kewanee this morning. I'm getting my time messed up already, but because it's feeling like an afternoon already. It's only 10 o'clock in the morning.
It's felt like a long day, and it's only 10 a.m.
Yeah. Dew points right now are very sticky, upper 60s and low 70s. It's going to be like this for a little while. I mean, we're not getting out of this pattern anytime soon. So here's the radar network right now. You can see that we do have a little bit of light rain working through the valley. So this is eastern Outagamie County, encompassing Brown County, down into Manitowoc County, and then Sheboygan. So pretty much running right along 43, that corridor between Green Bay and Sheboygan, heading down to Milwaukee. Really nice drive, actually. Not very populated until you get down there to Milwaukee, so it's a pretty decent drive. We also do have a little bit of shower activity trying to work out of central Wisconsin, so that's around Stevens Point, along that Highway 10 corridor down to 39. That does include portions of southern Wapaka County, a little bit of Waushara County, and into Marquette County, that is, as well. So we are seeing some rain out there, nothing too strong or too heavy, so that's the good news. But throwing on the cloud coverage, we are seeing some extensive cloud coverage out there this morning. But here's some good news. If you do like sunshine, you see that clearing down there towards Iowa and then even far southern Minnesota and northern Illinois. Once this warm front lifts, that's going to allow us to get into that sunshine for the afternoon. Now, you'll see on our temperatures in just a second, it's going to get pretty hot today.
Yeah,
this is going to be one of the hotter days this week.
It is, and I was just looking at what we're expecting on the water too. And there's a little bit of a swim advisory out there, so
Yeah.
it's a little bit harder to go to the beach and cool off today.
Yeah.
But
I'll have that. I just threw in the the forecast on that, so you'll see that in just a second. But you do see that activity up there towards Minnesota, the Dakotas, even far western Wisconsin. That becomes our rain and storm chance later today along a cold front. You do see that there is a severe weather, actually severe thunderstorm warning rather in South Dakota. We could see our fair share of severe weather later this afternoon, primarily up into the Northwoods. So for Packers training camp, if you're going out now, you're probably a little late. But for those that are practicing today or those that are viewing the Railbirds, there's a chance for a shower right now. I do think most of the afternoon is, or much of the practice rather, is looking pretty dry. 81, mostly cloudy. But then as we head to the afternoon, that's when we do have that heat advisory that kicks into effect, and we'll touch on that. But it's going to be a warm and a muggy practice for those that are practicing today. Then down there in Air Venture, we have another day of air shows, day 3. I do expect a gradual decrease in clouds this afternoon down there in Air Venture, so the air show should go on pretty much as planned. Temperatures will get pretty warm. How about 87 down there at Whitman at 4 o'clock, 86 for 6 o'clock, 83 at 8 p.m. Now, Nathan, the big one for today is not necessarily the air show during the afternoon. It's the one that's happening at night. I'm going to try to get down there. Obviously, if we have severe weather, probably not going to happen. Right. UC Tuesday, I made a mistake. That's Wednesday. I'm getting my days mixed up here. But so 83 this afternoon, about 82 at 9 o'clock, 79 at 10 p.m. It's going to be I think the thunderstorms that we will see should stay away from Oshkosh. You might see what's called a outflow boundary cloud roll through Whitman Airfield, but I do think the air show tonight should be going on as scheduled. It will just be warm and muggy. The thunderstorm chance is looking mainly up north. That's probably what you're seeing too.
Yeah, I agree completely with that. Farther north, and then, south clears up a little bit. So
yeah, absolutely. So let's go into that storm schedule. So our main window tonight is about 5 or 6 o'clock until about 11 p.m. We're seeing those scattered thunder showers this morning, but the second round is looking stronger and possibly severe for areas north and west of Green Bay. Damaging winds looks to be the main threat. Heavy rainfall as well, cloud to ground lightning. While there is a chance for an isolated tornado up there, I do think the main threats will be the damaging wind and heavy rain. So isolated tornado looks to be on lower the scale of the threats, but non-zero for today. So just got to keep that in mind if you reside up across the Northwoods. So here's that severe weather outlook. Pretty low for Green Bay, the Fox Valley, and over to the Lakeshore. It's those counties that are shaded in orange. That's Shawano County, Menominee County, both in Wisconsin and the UP, Oconto County, Marinette, Florence, Forest County, Oneida, Langlade, stuff like that. That's where we have the highest severe risk for today. Main threats, like I mentioned, damaging wind potential. We're expecting what's called the line of showers and storms. And when that scenario, main threat is quick downbursting winds, possibly 60, 70 miles per hour. But then you could always get a little spin up along that line. So that's something that we're monitoring. You can see the tornado probability, 2% for you in the Northwoods. The highest tornado risk today will be up there towards Rhinelander, Medford, out into northwestern Wisconsin. So while it looks low, just got to keep that on the back burner for today. Let's get right into Futurecast. So we'll see a little bit of shower activity this morning and maybe lingering to the early afternoon. But notice, you see those skies start to open up a little bit. That's what will help to warm us up, fuel the chance for showers and thunderstorms. Now here's that cold front starting to drop in, bringing some showers and storms for the late afternoon, going into the evening for those that reside up across the Northwoods. Now there will be a weakening trend as these approach the Fox Valley. I do think we are all clear by about, say, 10 p.m., 11 p.m., so right around the end of Local 5 News at 10. There could be a stray shower or storm that will be non-severe approaching for closer to daybreak tomorrow morning. So I mentioned the heavy rainfall aspect. That's something we have been watching for the last little bit now. South of Green Bay, expect pretty meager totals, but north of Green Bay, where you might get some heavy rain of a slow-moving storm, half an inch, wouldn't be shocked if we get a 2-inch report or 2 up there in the Northwest. Just because, Nathan, we have so much moisture in the atmosphere. Yeah, you can wring out a quick inch very easily, as we've seen so far this summer.
Yeah, so we were just looking at that where a lot of our rain, it feels like it's raining every day in Green Bay almost, but it's actually kind of started to avoid Green Bay itself. And we've seen areas around it get a lot of rain. It almost kind of looks like we're going to see something similar today where it's a little bit lighter near Green Bay, but farther north, we're seeing a lot more of that heavier rainfall.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go look at that on the water forecast. I brought that up earlier. Southwest winds on the Bay of Green Bay, 10 to 20 knots. Lake Michigan or nearshore waters, 15 to 25 knots. 2 to 4 footers for the nearshore waters, 1 to 2 footers for the Bay of Green Bay. We do have a small craft advisory for both. That just means, smaller craft should not be going out on the water just because we'll have the choppy waves. But then we also have that beach hazard statement. That means that, those conditions we have out there, it'll be prone for some rip currents. If they do see rip currents, make sure you swim to the sides. That's the best way to get out of a rip current. As a lifeguard at a pool, I always had to learn beaches just in case I was there and needed to go save someone. But the best thing, if you do get into a rip current, you feel yourself getting pushed out away from the shore, swim to the sides because the rip current is trying to take you out away from the shore. So that's just kind of like my MO there on that one. But yeah, beach hazard statement in effect for both the choppy waves and also the rip current potential. So I don't think today's the day to go to the beach or take the boat out, maybe on the lake or the river. But I think tomorrow we should see some calmer conditions. So that's something to look forward to. Highs today. All right, let's get into that heat aspect. We'll probably take a quick break here, and then we'll circle back and talk about the heat aspect coming up on the other side. So stay with us. Storm Team 5 Plus is coming up in just a few minutes. Thank you. All right, so we are back. Let's talk about the heat aspect for today. That's obviously the one on, the other part of our minds, not just the storm threat for today, but the heat aspect as well. That's what we're really kind of focusing on today because it's going to get pretty hot. It's going to be one of the hottest days this week. I'm going with a high of 88 degrees. Now, I had 91 yesterday when I was with you on Local 5 News at noon and 4. Now it does look like we're trimming back those temperatures just a tad, just because I do think some of that cloud coverage might linger on a little bit longer than, what we expected. I was looking like the clouds are going to open up very quickly after this morning wave. Might take a little bit extra time, so that would limit our heating. But still,
that's
88
right
degrees.
Where I was at yesterday too. The clouds seem to have lingered around a little bit longer, keep it a little bit cooler. So yeah, I'm thinking upper 80s. Sounds a little bit more accurate than up in those 90s.
But still, 88 compared to 91, not a big difference.
No.
We could probably still see some 90s for Wapaka, Watoma, Fond du Lac. Now, if you want to go out on the water, like go by to the beach and just sit there and relax, should be fine. Just, like I said, the water might be a little bit of a concern today. So 77 in Sturgeon Bay, 78 in Manitowoc, 85 down there in Sheboygan, 80 up there in Menominee. So Lake and Bayside, probably the best places to be, but I would try to avoid, jumping. You could probably do a quick splash and dash. That's what I kind of call. That's what I would do because it's still pretty chilly for me. Yeah. I like the low 70s for the ocean temperatures when I'm back home. So, but let's look at those dew points. That's really the driving factor in today's forecast is how muggy it's going to get. We had dew points closing in on 70 yesterday. We're going past that today.
Yeah.
So it's gonna get pretty soupy.
The 3 degrees that we saw last time, that change, not gonna matter too much, especially when you have dew points like this. It's gonna be muggy and hot no matter how much that changes.
Oh yeah.
And 75 is that's very, very uncomfortable.
Yeah, this is brutal.
Yeah.
This is, Florida like air that we're seeing right now, and it's gonna continue for the next few days. So dew points today lower and middle 70s. So pair those two together, your body's going to feel temperatures still likely in the upper 90s and lower triple digits for a time this afternoon. Best locations to be, like I mentioned, Lakeside, Bayside. That's where the relief from the heat will be today. But likely for this afternoon, getting up into the triple digits here in Green Bay, Fox Valley. And that's where we do have that heat advisory is the best chance to get those heat indices in the lower 100s, maybe as high as 105 this afternoon. So heat advisory kicked in at noon, so right around the end of Packers training camp practice today through about 8 p.m. on Wednesday. Now, looking at the forecast for tomorrow, it doesn't look like we'll get as hot. We'll still probably get into the upper 80s, but it doesn't look like our dew points get into the mid 70s tomorrow. Right. So that's a good sign that, I don't think we'll see oppressive heat. We'll still probably feel like the lower to middle 90s, but not reaching heat advisory criteria. Yep. But you can see that the dangerous heat headlines just go right down the Mississippi River. We are the northern fringe of it, but look at that excessive, or I said excessive again. Extreme heat warning. This is brand new from the Weather Service from St. Louis all the way down to New Orleans.
Yeah, that's a stretch. And New Orleans just had, I mean, they're not catching a break. They just had that tropical system make its way up along the
Yep.
Gulf. Now they're dealing with, more of this heat watch. It's really just nonstop down there.
Yep. And I'm gonna take a bit of a detour, heading over to my hometown of Providence, where Providence and Kent County are under that heat advisory as well. So to my parents watching back home, you've been warned. Your heat indices could get into the lower 100s today as well. So just want to throw that little caveat out there. But all right, let's look at that temperature trend. About 85 tomorrow. We'll get into a run of the mid 80s for Thursday through about Saturday. It's Sunday and Monday where we get that final grasp of some pretty hot temperatures. Sunday now looking like actually maybe the hottest day, closing in on 90. Same thing for Monday as well. Those are the 2 days where we're wrapping up AirVenture. People usually leave on Sunday right after the air show, but some usually like to hang around and leave on Monday as well. So Sunday and Monday, it's going to get pretty hot out there. But then, something that we're watching is to end the month and start off August. Crazy, we're already talking about August.
Yeah.
Around the 30th or 31st, that's where we're targeting the end of this ring of fire weather pattern we've been talking about recently, where I think we start to cool down a little bit back closer to our average or slightly below it. So I think that's when the comfy air kind of starts to work back in. You can see on temperatures lakeside over the next 10.
Dare I say next month again, like I did yesterday? It cools off next month for anybody watching.
You were cringy.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't get as much worse than me when I said we're so back yesterday.
You're so back.
So you can't get much worse than me. So I'll give you a pass.
Yeah, we'll do that again next month.
Yeah. Oh. The worst is when you say next year on like.
Yes, on New Year's.
Yeah.
That will happen. I'm just forewarning you. In December, I'll say, okay, see you next year.
I'm so thankful that around those time of the years, the time of the year, Luke and Jordan will take the time off, so I will not have to see you.
Right. Yep. So we'll be gone. And then after that, that's my vacation's in January, so it'll be a long time actually. That'll be almost a month stretch. Then we'll really be so back.
I have no words right now.
No words. Maybe we'll start doing a dad joke every day in here.
Yeah, we might have to add that like start of the show every day. Nathan's dad joke.
Okay, we can do that. Yeah, I'm completely down for that.
All right, we'll book it for tomorrow. Okay?
All right.
We'll start doing it tomorrow. All right. Talking about tomorrow, high temperatures, lower to middle 80s. So we're running up, a few degrees above our average, 79 in Antigo, 78 in Washington. And it does look like we'll turn our winds around from the southeast to more of the southwest tomorrow. So that should help to bring that warm air right over to the lakeshore. So today's the day to seek some relief along the lakeshore because it looks like that does turn around as we head into the day tomorrow. Here's that dew point trend over the next 10 days. I know I kind of teased it earlier. Dew points running in the 70s and 60s for the next week stretch. It's like I mentioned around the 31st to 1st where those dew points start to get back closer to the comfy range in the upper 50s to around 60. So we just got to put our head down and deal with that. It's right during training camp, of course, too. Yeah. So, those Packers players that I think, Matthew Golden's he's played at Texas, right? So he's probably used to it.
Yeah. And, I have Sunday and Monday off. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go to training camp for the first time. But I'm thinking I'm going to have to wait because I don't think I want to do that to myself.
No.
That might be a little too much for me,
Go to the quarry or something like that.
Right. I'll chill on the beach again.
Yeah. That's the
float around.
That's a smart idea. But, here we obviously have to do this one again. I love this graphic. When Luke displayed it a few weeks ago during our first one, makes me miss my dog a little bit more. I have a new dog back home, Molly. She's a Cavalier Poodle mix. She's a little over a year old now. I think my mom will probably correct me later if I'm wrong on that one, but I think she's a little over a year now. And I wouldn't want her walking on these pavement temperatures, to say the least. When air temperatures are in the lower to middle 90s, where some of us will be today, upper 80s for others, the concrete could range between 105 to 140, asphalt 130 to 155. So the best time to take the dog out for a walk, morning, and then when it starts to cool off after sunset. Those are the two best times. Favoring the morning hours is you had plenty of time for the pavement to cool off overnight. Mm-hmm. But the afternoon it still might be a little bit warm.
Right. It's important to remember when it's this hot out too that it's not even just the concrete that's an issue or the asphalt. I mean, as soon as you go out, those dogs do overheat quickly. I mean, they're covered in hair, especially if it's black fur. So even if it's hot like this, limited walks are better. I mean, try and keep them in the grass, but going out and bringing them back in is the best bet for days like today.
It's obviously tough to contain some dogs sometimes.
Right,
So they might want to run around, and trying to keep them on the grass is probably the toughest thing to do. But
I had a chocolate lab, so I know.
Yeah.
Doesn't always work.
So you actually brought this graphic up yesterday when we were planning out the show today.
Right.
Heat exhaustion versus heat stroke. Those are obviously two things that we need to just remind the public about when this warm temperature comes around. Obviously, this is not record-breaking stuff, guys. We're not saying, oh my gosh, this is the warmest air we've ever seen. No, it's just when it gets this abnormally warm, we just need to give you those common sense reminders. So if you want to talk about what's the difference between the heat exhaustion and the heat stroke, I'll kind of try to lead your voice there, and I'll try to match it with the graphics.
Yeah, so, one of the main things is, when you're feeling faint or dizzy, we're seeing that more of a heat exhaustion thing, but that throbbing headache, when that starts to pop in, might start to feel like a migraine. That's more so your heat stroke area there. And then the excessive sweating, you're still in that heat exhaustion phase, but once you start to not sweat at all, that's where things get a lot more dangerous. That's where you're more into your heat stroke phase once again there. Now, you're going to feel cool, pale, and a little bit more clammy when you're in that heat exhaustion phase, but as soon as it starts to get red, hot, and dry skin, it almost will start to feel not scaly, but it's just a drier feel to that skin. That's where you're going to start to get into that heat stroke. And then we'll keep moving down to more of the symptoms here, because I think we have another one. Or nausea and vomiting will be included in both, and that might be all we have for symptoms. Nope, we have the rapid, weak pulse. That's going to be more present with heat exhaustion. And then your rapid, stronger pulse, where you'll start to really feel, if you feel right here, you'll feel a lot stronger. Then you're going into your heat stroke phase again. I believe that's all we have listed for symptoms there. Nope, we have one more.
I'm not doing a really good job matching you there.
I'm not doing a good job of remembering what ones were which. So the muscle cramps, that's more heat exhaustion. And then once you start to lose consciousness, this is more heat stroke. So with heat exhaustion, it's important to get them to a cool place, keep it air conditioned, drink lots of water if they're still conscious, and take a cool shower or use a lot of cold compresses. Just make sure you're watching for others, making sure you're paying attention to these symptoms. And when you see those heat stroke symptoms, you call 911 immediately, because that's where you need more advanced medical attention.
Bravo. Great work. Great work. I actually started drinking water when you started saying excessive sweating. So I'm getting a little high in here. It gets a little toasty.
It felt like it got a lot warmer as we were talking about it.
You cranked up the dial a little bit when you started talking about it. So I needed my water.
I hear someone cough, and suddenly I'm like, I've got the flu. It's done.
Or it's like
I'm one of those people.
When me and my brother were lifeguarding, we were across the pool. I would sneeze, and then I would hear him sneeze like 20 seconds later. It's contagious. Yeah. It really is.
Well, I'm around someone who's sick, and I know I'm not sick, but I feel sick, so I'm like, oh no. And I trick myself into thinking that I've got this horrible disease, like I'm done for, just because this person sneezed next to me.
Yeah. So here's another one that, common sense, drink plenty of fluids. Agua, making sure I drink my agua. Stay in the AC as much as you can. Oh, he's got his.
Mine too. I got the circle.
Cheers, buddy. Cheers. Stay in the AC as much as you can. Stay out of the sun. I know it's tempting to go outside and enjoy the sunshine, but make sure to stay out of the sun. Be aware of those heat-related illnesses that Dr. Nathan Himsel just talked about over there. And then obviously the main one, checking on relatives, neighbors, especially the elderly. Just make sure they're getting through it okay. It's obviously important to check up on those. All right, and then we'll go over the risk for severe weather on Thursday. Now, that was the one day where I was kind of, earlier in the week, wondering how this would play out. It looks like this front actually drops too far south to bring us a big severe weather day. Not to say we could see a strong storm or two, but it looks like the severe risk on Thursday is lowering, and that's obviously good news. But wouldn't be shocked if we see a few spotty showers and storms produce some gusty winds, maybe some small hail, torrential downpours at times, but it doesn't look like a widespread, complete washout day. You'll see that in Futurecast, actually. The better rain chance tomorrow actually might be during the morning hours. Then we'll hold out a chance for some spotty showers and storms to the afternoon and evening, but notice it's not going to be raining in one location at all times tomorrow. I think it stays, mainly dry. You might see a quick, shower, maybe a quick rumble of thunder tomorrow. So that's obviously the good news. And then I do think, besides some early morning fog, especially Lake and Bayside for Friday morning, Friday is shaping up to be a pretty nice day here. So 7-day forecast, spotty storms Thursday, 85, mostly sunny and muggy on Friday, 83. The only day I do think we'll see some showers and storms will be on Saturday, maybe pop-up variety. So we're looking pretty good for that nighttime air show on Saturday. Sunday, we get up to 90. Thunderstorms hold off until late in the overnight hours, maybe early Monday morning. I'm trying to fine-tune the timing on that. I think the better rain chance will be on Tuesday, 83. And notice we get a little cooler. And I do think by Wednesday or Thursday, we get a little bit cooler as well. So no really washout days. That's obviously the good news there.
Yeah, no, it's just going to be, I call them summer showers more so. You know, they come through and move through pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Just enough to get everything wet to ruin all your plans to get, you know, your outside chores done, mowing the lawn. Just put a damper on your day a little bit. But usually dries up fairly quick, especially if you have the sun out there.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have about a few minutes left in the show. So we're going to take one final break and then we'll wrap it up. So thank you for joining us, and we'll be back with you in just a minute. Thank you. All right, so we got about a minute or so left. So Nathan, what you got going on this weekend? What are you eyeing up?
Well, I got Sunday and Monday off, so I think I'm going to effort a trip to training camp to go check it out for the first time. It's pretty hot though, so not sure how long that'll last. Probably gonna end up spending some time at the beach as well. And my girlfriend just moved all her stuff up here from New York, so a little bit more unpacking at the house, and that's gonna be it.
Yeah. I'm off Friday, Saturday. And then, so I'm probably gonna chill around. Maybe I'll probably go to AirVenture on Friday.
Right.
I'm debating I want to go down the air show tonight to see the nighttime air show. I've never been. Just depends on if we have severe weather. You know, if Luke needs me, I'll certainly be around. But if I want to go on Saturday, I might go on Saturday to see the nighttime air show, and then Sunday I might go down there to do a quick recap. You know, talk to some people that are leaving or staying around for one more day. So it's up in the air. It really depends on what happens tonight. So. We'll see. But AirVentures, I need to get down there eventually this week. But thank you for joining us on today's edition of Storm Team 5 Plus. Tomorrow we'll be back with you. We'll try to do more of a national update, but maybe we'll have an update on what happened in Manitowoc County. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.